Yeah, a lot of people walk up and see the bottle and they're interested in it, and then they ask, what's Mersey all about? And it takes about a minute to tell the story, and it's like people's eyes just perk up and their body language changes, and they kind of attach to the whole idea of it all, and they appreciate it, I think, a little bit. So it's been fun. It's been really cool to see how it comes through.
It's a real like success story.
Yeah,
Adventurous success story.
I hope so. I hope so. We got to
in multiple locations across the globe. Not many people could pull that off.
That's right. Yeah, I was just in South Africa.
Yeah,
and
we're going to catch up on that.
Good deal.
I started catching on to after we left. Tell me if I have my timeline right. You had an ambassador do an ultra, right? Is that what it was?
That's right.
Was that was
July?
Okay, so was that the beginning of the season, basically athletic season of Mersey, really being boots on the ground, supporting the outdoorsy aspect of terroir of the spirit? Was that the first one?
So I was building to it. I really want to sponsor the local community and be part of the local community. So starting in January already, I was plugging into some smaller events here in Birmingham, some Alicat cycling, a couple of local running races, a couple of local bike races. So I was starting to see, whether this works, whether this resonates.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing the network effect. So through those events, I met a few people, and they really liked the idea of Mersey. They really connected with this spirit of celebrating the adventurer, celebrating the athlete inside all of us. Not just a professional athlete,
mm-hmm.
but many of us have got somebody inside us that wants to
do recreational athletes like you and me.
And just do fun things.
Yeah.
So I had just a lot of folks reaching out, talking to me, and we were just percolating ideas. And one connection led to another, and the events that I got access to just became bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think it's because of the authenticity of Mersey, about the idea of celebrating the individual participant, and from the first finisher to the last person across the finish line, and just plugging into that whole idea. So I met the race director of the Trans Rockies Ultra. Really, really cool guy, very down to earth. He loved Mersey. I think he enjoyed talking to me.
Yeah.
And so he invited us to come out. And so Andrew, an ultra runner here from Birmingham, he jumped into the race. Kudos to him. With not a whole lot of preparation, just
really?
Yeah, just very talented, strong, committed, determined runner. And we went up there and we went at it. And Andrew did awesome. And
finished.
He finished,
Yeah,
and
finished.
One of the days he was in I think in the top 15 people.
Wow!
So he finished strong, and the race is about getting to the finish line, but in any which way you can. It's not about getting there fast. It's about getting there so that the next day you can wake up and put your shoes on and go out again.
Right.
Which I think a lot of life is like that.
Right.
And the spirit of Mersey is right there. It's like do crazy things, but do them so that the next day you can pick up and get going again.
Right.
It's a really cool community. I think Mersey plugged in really well to the folks who were out on the trail and the folks who were supporting the trail. My son, he came with me, and we would throw a bottle of Mersey in our backpacks and start at the finish and work our way backwards. And we would hit all the runners on their way in on a couple of days. And we'd take shot glasses with us.
Yeah.
And we were pouring trail shots and just like egging everybody along. And, one day we poured about 2 bottles worth of shots on the trail. So it was just
motivating.
A lot of fun. People enjoyed it. The ladies were drinking way more than the guys. Just FYI, they were out there pounding it, no fear, getting down with Mersey, which was great. So for me, it was a little bit of testing. Like, does this work? Do people attach to the idea? Is the spirit good out there? Does the brand work well? And like big check marks to all of those coming back. So that was a big event. Took 15 cases of whiskey up there.
Oh, man.
And didn't come back with a whole lot. So
wow.
We had good consumption and just a really, really good time all around.
Oh, they won't forget it. That is an industry or a sport that they really appreciate. They remember the brands who support them. And they remember who drops off. That's the other thing. Like, they like the consistent. They like the people that really like to stay and support them. And there's there was beer brands that I never was into, but you finished the race and they were supportive, and I never forgot it, and support them when I can.
Yeah, totally. So I would love to be back. I would like to actually participate in it, maybe, if I can keep my legs together, and just keep going. Just the community aspect is so incredible.
Yeah, it is.
It changes your perspective about getting it done. You realize, it's possible to do this thing.
Yeah, and nothing sucks
cool.
more than that. I mean, that is like the next level, beyond marathon suck.
Yes, yeah, I think so. I ran one of the stages.
Did you?
Volunteers and the sponsors could jump in on one of the days. So I ran with Andrew.
Yeah.
And it was his recovery day, and it was my hard day.
What did he pace at? What were you kind of at?
Oh gosh, I can't remember. We got to the top of the mountain, and he's a really good downhill runner.
Oh boy.
So I could see he was itching to go. So I said,
man.
look, you run your downhill,
Go.
and I'm going to walk my downhill, and I'll see you at the finish line. So I think I was out for 3 hours. I'm pretty sure he was in like 45 minutes before me, because he came back up the trail looking for his girlfriend after he'd finished and ran her home as well. So he did awesome. He was and just running with him was awesome. We chatted the whole way. One of the race cheerleaders took Mersey on the trail every day, and that day he took Mersey up to 11,000 feet, dressed as a clown, serving Mersey and tequila at 11,000 feet. And by the time I got to him, the Mersey was almost finished, which was awesome. So Andrew and I finished the bottle with the clown, which was pretty.
That's awesome.
It was fun.
Yeah, I saw
really
a lot of shots with just straight chugging it. I mean, that's a great pick. It's a great shaped bottle for chugging right there, athletic event, and I bet that was pretty motivating to those guys.
So next thing is I have a little steel mug with a carabiner on it.
Oh, yeah?
So for pouring trail shots. And so I tested that out there a little bit. That worked really well. So I want to get that developed for Mersey. And then we've got to find a way that we can get a 375 ml stainless steel container on the trails, or even less, like a 200 ml stainless steel container. So you're not lugging a big glass bottle up and down the mountain. You've got something smaller to take with you. So that's in the idea shop at the moment and figuring it out. But we have like a 4 or a 5 minute short clip coming out on the Trans Rockies, on Mersey at the Trans Rockies. So that'll be hitting the airwaves here in the next week or so, which I'm really excited about. We've got some great footage. Andrew, all the other runners, Mersey in camp at night, the beautiful sunrises, the amazing sunsets.
You guys just like drone footage. Didn't you get some drone footage or something out there?
Yeah, drone footage, lots of stills, lots of on-the-foot video, lots of GoPro. Good. The race director, Huda, we got a bunch with him, and he's hysterical and a just all-round amazing person. And that extends to everybody else who was out there. So really cool stuff.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah,
and after that, we sponsored a local 5K. We have some bike runners coming up. We have a couple of ambassadors, and I'm starting to kind of release their profiles, publish their profiles. And so the goal is with the ambassadors, they're not necessarily athletes, they're adventurers, just people doing interesting things off the beaten path a little bit. Let's learn more about them. Let's follow them along on their adventures and see where they take Mersey to and how they enjoy Mersey. But also, I just think celebrate them and celebrate what they're doing. And I've come up with this really a different way of looking at things. As somebody who did athletic events for 15 years, I would pay my entry fee. I would show up at the start of the race, and I would be expecting a pretty good race. I wanted it to start well. I wanted it to be water on the course. I wanted it to end well. But the last year, I've started to interact a lot more with the race directors. And then one level down, the person who founded the race. This was particularly brought home for me at the Alabama 650, which is this canoeing race through Alabama, 650 miles.
That's what I was wondering about the 650. I was like, that's not a foot race. I was like, what is this 650? That's what I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah, it's a paddle race.
Okay.
Yeah, and so very few participants. So 17 participants on 650 miles. Takes 10 days to get everybody in. So you can just imagine the logistics of all of this. Every paddler needs a crew. you need safety, you need medical, you need nutrition, all those things along the way. So if you step back and look at this, you have people who thought about a race, you have people who put it together, you have people who keep it going, and you know why they do that? They do that so they enrich our lives.
Yes.
Because we're doing Monday to Friday, we're working, and we look forward to this event, or maybe 1 or 2 events a year that are
all year.
They're the pinnacle of our year.
All year.
Totally, and so it's those people who are enriching our lives.
Oh yeah, they're sacrificing.
Big time. And so I'm just so grateful and thankful that I have a chance to plug into that on the side a little bit. I think the whiskey brings something, maybe a little unique, maybe a little bit off the beaten path.
Right.
And I hope it adds something to the experience. But what I'm taking away as an individual is just these race directors and race founders and everybody involved in the events are incredible people. And
they are.
I don't think I individually gave them enough kudos for how wonderful and how...
Yeah, we take it for granted.
Big time. So that's been my big takeaway from this year, aside from learning a bunch about building a brand and launching a brand and plugging into people. It's these secondary things they're the kind of low beat pulse of life out there, but they're really needed. They keep us going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so kudos to all of them, and we drink shots with them along the way.
Those people, some of those races, we just did Bill's Beer Run last Sunday, I think it was. It's a 5-miler on Casey Key. At the end, there's a beer trailer. It's like you wait, and it sells out. It's got a limited amount of tickets and stuff, and it is that race you wait all year for that 5 miles.
There you go.
And then that last mile is that last mile you can't wait to finish, so you waited all year to do.
That's right.
Because you're going so fast.
And you kind of think about that for a long time.
Yeah.
Right? I remember once I flew from LA to New York on the red eye, got in a taxi, taxis took me straight to the start of a 10-mile beer run, ran the 10-mile beer run, got to the finish, and drank a couple of beers. And that's all I thought about on the flight on the way back was, this is going to be so cool.
Yeah.
And I was so tired and I was so lagged when I got there, but it was so much fun.
That's impressive to pull off at 10. At a drop of the hat like that.
Yeah, it was a great race, and
it's almost a half. You're almost doing a half marathon. It's
all good fun.
Yeah.
I used to be fit like that. Not so much anymore.
Now you just did something look really fit. Did you go overseas to bike?
Yes.
You went biking overseas.
I went biking overseas. So I turned 50 last week. So
happy birthday!
Thank you so much. So in the run up to turning 50. A really good friend of mine from a long time ago has been inviting me to come out to South Africa, which is where I grew up.
Yeah.
To do one of these stage mountain bike races.
Was it a gravel bikes you guys were on, right?
Mountain bikes.
You were on mountain bikes.
Yeah, 3 days of mountain biking. Through the winelands of the Cape in South Africa.
Have you been there before?
So I lived in Cape Town for 10 years, and so it's kind of my backyard a little bit, but I never mountain biked when I lived there. So this was all new for me, all new trails, all new experiences. This amazing camp, this amazing community of 1,000 people who rode a couple of miles every day, and then hung out at night, went to bed, woke up the next morning and did it again. At the Rugby World Cup was going on at the same time, so we were watching rugby every night, some pretty exciting games to watch. So there was a lot of partying through the night, which was good fun. I took some Mersey with me.
Yeah, that was my next question.
Yeah, I had just a great chance to introduce it to people and talk to them about the story. South Africa is more of a single malt drinker. Bourbon and American whiskeys are a little bit exotic. Everybody knows Jack Daniels and Maker's Mark, but the craft bourbon craft whiskeys that we're producing is not well known. So it was good fun. Rye whiskey is certainly not well known in South Africa.
Oh, really?
But tasted really well.
So it hit their palates, and there was.
Yeah. I would get up and go to the bathroom and come back, and the bottle would be gone.
Oh,
so
that's a good sign.
It was working really well.
That's a good sign.
Working really well. Yeah, and again, the brand connected really well with people. The idea of celebrating the individual adventurer in all of us went down really well, and I had a boatload of fun. It rained the first night and all the way through the second day, so that makes for really muddy bike riding. Yeah. Really, really good pictures. Really, really good stories.
Yeah.
No, it was hard. It took us 6 hours to do 25 miles on the trails that day. So when we got to the finish line, we were pretty wiped out, but that was just the best part of it all. The next day was sunshine, beautiful trails,
Man.
glorious day, and I don't remember it as much as I remember the second day in the mud, kind of trailing
That's
along.
total hell, yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't ride the bikes because they were just getting caked in clay, so we had to throw them in rivers every time we got to a river.
Tires were caking up in the frame, yeah.
Caking up, the sprocket was getting full of mud, so the
man.
chains wouldn't stay on.
Oh, yeah.
I think I dropped my chain 50 or 60 times that day.
Wow.
It was nuts.
On the front end of the front,
the front.
the chain ring was popping off on the chain ring?
Yep, yeah.
Wow.
And I have a 1-by on the front, if you know what that means. So just one
So you
ring
got
on the
one
front,
chain ring
not two. And
yeah.
that shouldn't drop, but it was dropping the
That
whole
is
time.
weird.
So I learned a lot about the inside of my bike on that trip as well.
Yeah.
Get to the finish line when you're cold. It's been a tough day. Like, honestly, the first thing I did is I went and found the Mersey in my tent, took a couple of shots, warmed up, calmed down.
Oh, yeah.
Got my sense of humor back and went out and did it some more. So we rode in our Mersey bike gear, which was a blast. So we have some great photos and some great kind of photo stills, good collateral coming from the trip, good video, which was fun. So we'll put something together for that as well and get that on the airwaves too.
Yeah, more people should see that because that's going to be probably some cool photos people aren't used to being, South Africa. So they're going to enjoy that.
I hope so. Yeah,
it did look different
cool.
to me. It looked like a different location. You were not in your average place.
No. Yeah, mountains down to the sea, through the vineyards. There's a very specific plant group out there called fynbos, which is beautiful. It means fine bush. So it's a vegetation that's just full of different types of grasses, very colorful, very, very tactile, just gorgeous. And living there for 10 years and then coming here, I'd kind of forgotten how beautiful the fynbos is, but riding in it again and hanging out in it was awesome. It's got a smell to it that's kind of unique. It was like taking you home, so that was
That's
really
amazing.
good fun.
I'm glad you did that.
Yeah, me too. A good way to turn 50. You're doing that. Just trying to throw the body around, make sure it doesn't break.
You won't forget that.
Hold it together.
Yeah, you won't forget that.
Yeah. No, this has been good. It's been good.
You have some experimental stuff or something new? Is that?
Yeah. So we have two new products coming out in the next couple of months.
Okay.
One of them is just a few weeks away from being launched. It's actually already in the bottle.
Okay.
We're just getting the label squared away with the TTB. So I'm not going to tell you anything about it. I'm going to give you a taste.
Okay.
Drink it in and process, and then tell me what you think, and we'll talk about it.
Okay.
Alrighty.
And these are the new glasses.
Yeah. These are the new
gorgeous.
Glencairns. Like
Those are gorgeous.
straight out of the box.
Do you sense some like citrus? Is any citrus on there?
There's a couple of moving parts inside this.
Apricot, maybe.
Yeah, you're on the right track.
Wow. That is very unique.
Yeah, pretty good, right? So there's a lot going on in your mouth when you take it in. Give it 10 seconds to settle.
This is up my alley because it's sweeter. I love your double rye, but this is sweeter. And that fruit, the sweetness, that's unreal.
So
that is unreal.
This is a complex whiskey. This is a blend of bourbon and rye. They're pretty young bourbons and ryes.
How on earth did they do that so quickly?
And then we've got vanilla bean infused and Vermont maple syrup infused.
Oh my God.
All authentic. The beans were spliced and crushed there, 10 feet away from you. The Vermont maple came down from Vermont in big blue 5-gallon jugs, processed and filtered. All the filters though just next to you on the other side of these tanks over here. Yep. So very small batch, all hand cranked.
Nothing artificial, obviously. No artificial colors, no artificial flavors.
No, nothing like that. This is all
real.
This is all real. Sat in the blending tank for a month, just settling. The cool thing about where we are is the team here does everything super slow, and I honestly think it adds 50 or 60% to the smooth finishes we get out of here.
That is unique.
I was getting a little impatient. I was like, "Come on, I want to taste it. How is it?" And they said, "Just hang on. It's still settling. Settling." And then we pumped it through, and it's. I've been sampling it and testing it with a bunch of people, and the reaction is awesome. It's just so incredible. So it's 80 proof. So
easy to drink. Yeah.
Mersey No.6 is at 91 proof, so that's harder. But on purpose, we brought this out at 80 so that the flavors will take prominence. I also wanted to get a drink. I wanted to get a whiskey that you'll have fun drinking on the trail. So you're not going to
carb you back up too.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think the sweet activates the sugar responders really quickly. And so when it's been a hard day and you've been out there and you drink something that's got a fair amount of sugar on the front, you're not looking for a sophisticated taste. You're just looking for a pep. This will hit the mark. So I'm going to call this mooring whiskey. So everything's nautical with Mersey. Mooring whiskey. The idea is you've been sailing all day, you came in the harbor, you set the anchor, you've been working really hard to set the anchor, get the boat all squared away for the night. You sit down, and maybe you're in the galley and you're prepping something for dinner, and you crack open the mooring whiskey. Or you're sitting out on the bow and you're watching the setting sun.
Cooking with this and drinking with this.
And this is what you're popping down.
And I like it a little sweeter, but I will be the first to tell somebody when it's too sweet. And this is not too sweet. This is right where it needs to be, where someone can be sensitive but also want it at the same time.
Right.
It's not gummy.
I didn't want to be like very honey forward or something like that, or liqueur or syrupy.
Because now, so the apricot aspect, I didn't want to say vanilla because I didn't want to believe it, but obviously there's vanilla.
You can get it now.
Now I'm like, okay, well, I'll accept that. Well done.
Kudos to our distiller here. He helped me put this together. Lots of ideas. The fresh components, the fresh ingredients, the way it was all put together is all just great master distillers doing their work, doing their craft.
I don't think there's many vanilla maple combos, right, that are fully natural. I don't think so.
Not that I know.
No.
Not that I know.
If they're out there, they're probably a bunch of garbage.
So it's a whiskey that I've had for a little while, and I've been thinking about what can I do with this to really bring it to prominence, and I am so excited that we've got this flavor profile, this texture, everything as it's going to present in the bottle. I think it's going to connect with the branding, mooring whiskey. If you think about the end of the day, the sunset, this is what you want to be drinking.
This is absolutely delicious. And if you put, I don't know, have you tried it with ice yet? Well,
yes.
Does it water it down, or you still got it? Does it drop the 80 too much, or do you still?
Just don't not a whole bunch of ice.
No, yeah, obviously no.
Just one or two ice cubes take you right there. But as we're drinking it tonight, this is pretty soft and ready to go.
It is
as it is.
This is amazing. 80 proof.
Yeah, so if you think about it, if you're on the boat, if you're on the trail, you don't have ice with you.
No.
So I wanted it to be something that was ready to go when you're ready to go.
I can't wait to see the faces on people when you sample this mooring at the next event you take it to. It's going to blow their minds.
That's been we've run it at the last two events this past weekend, the Alabama football game, and
someone's tasted this.
Yeah, we've been testing it in Tuscaloosa, and then over here in University of Alabama Birmingham at their alumni function last week. And we'll give everybody the rye to taste first, and it's hot and it's sophisticated. A lot of people love it, but then you follow up with this. This is a good dessert, and the eyes pop, and everybody gets super excited by it.
What a combo. Bravo.
Good deal. So look out for it. We'll announce when it's launched. I was hoping for it to be ready to go now, but regulation. We have to get the label squared away, and then we can get it out there. So plans are in about a month it'll be on the shelf. Which
Okay.
will be great.
ABC will have it, obviously, wherever all the other ones are.
Yeah, ABC, package stores, and online. Online sales are rocking. Actually, online store sold out this morning.
I saw that post. Good
Yeah,
job.
so the first batch that we sold online is sold out in a month. It's working online.
Very cool.
People are attracting to it. So things like meeting a bunch of people in Colorado at the running race. I did the Steamboat gravel cycle, and we introduced Mersey to a lot of people up there. Just broadening the fan base so far. This first set of online sales, I think we shipped to 11 states, which is great. So thank you to everybody who bought from 11 states. It's been a win so far. So we're reloading as fast as we can, get some more out there, and hopefully back selling next week.
Oh, this will fly too.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Did you have you got the page worked up to have the mooring page?
Once we have to get the
Bottle
the language
photos.
approved,
Mm.
and once it's approved, then we'll fly it out there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. The puffery. We have to get the puffery.
Is that what it's
approved.
called?
Puffery. Yeah, they're very particular about the puffery. So once that gets going, we'll be all right.
You learn to navigate that well, so you're
Yeah.
getting better at it.
Yeah, that's right. That's my homework tonight. To go
Yeah.
read the puffery
Is
rules.
it? Oh, you got some more work?
Yeah.
What else you got? You got something
Okay.
else here. So,
All right, next product. Again, I won't tell you what it is. This is going to be much higher proof.
okay.
But I'll let you savor it, and then we can talk it through.
Now that's totally different on the nose.
Yep.
Was it like oaky,
Mm-hmm.
leathery? It's got the sweetness.
So we're moving away from bourbon. We're going into single malt world. 5-year-old
Oh.
single malt,
Yeah.
finished in tawny port barrels.
Oh, port.
So you're getting the sweet is coming from the port.
Okay.
So it's got about another month to go, I think, before I think the finish is complete.
Am I off on the oaky part?
No, it is. It's a nice oaky single
Okay.
malt.
Okay.
It's a nice oaky single malt. It's in charred barrels, so it's
Okay.
going to get the oak flavor coming through.
You're getting the char barrels after they've had what in them? What was it?
They're going into new char.
They're new char.
going into new char.
Okay.
They can actually. I probably just picked up charcoal on my nose right now. Yeah, so it's coming along really well. It's barrel strength, so it's barrel proof. So 109 is what it's ticking at right now.
Mm-hmm. I feel it's still sitting there.
Mm-hmm. So a totally different whiskey to what we just
Totally.
tried, right?
Totally.
But so we're moving to a different palate. We're going for a whole different flavor set, whole different proof set, whole different drinking style.
Yes.
So you smash a few Moorin whiskeys as you set the anchor, sit down, have some dinner, and then when you grab your cigar,
Oh, yeah.
or you just, it's the
This
end
could
of the
hold
night.
up. Yeah, this could hold up with a cigar.
Moon is setting. This is what you're going for on the bow.
That single malt, it's hot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the big brands are jumping in on single malts to.
It's growing fast.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think, though, because a lot of single malts will be in the 80 to 90 proof range, especially Scotch, Irish. They'll proof them down a lot. But I'm a big fan of barrel strength for more sophisticated flavors because we're not getting any water in the way. We're just getting straight barrel flavors coming right at you. And this is an exception with a bit of a finish. But I wanted to create something a little unique, keeping something nautical. Port is a little nautical. The whole way the port was developed was to fortify the wine so that it could handle the voyages and stuff. So I thought, oh, perfect. Let's keep that going and weave that into Mersey world. I love the tawny port flavors. I think they pair really well
They're sweeter,
with
right? Tawny ports are sweeter.
Tawny port sweeter, yep. And so you're going up against the barley in the single malt, and I think you have a wider spectrum of tastes coming at you.
Well done. Yeah, I've only had a few single malts. Still trying to get into those, and it's awesome that you were able to. This is unique away from the other bigger name single malts I've already tried. which is very cool.
Good
Bravo
deal.
for being. You're going to stand out with this.
So I think there is a single malt is running fast right now, and so I think you need to bring something else to the table. So a port finish brings something unique to the table. I'm a really big fan of ryes, finished in aged rum or aged port barrels. Love that. Didn't want to do that for Mersey because I wanted to keep Mersey a little bit unique. So I thought, hey, well, when we go for the single malt, let's try some port in the mix.
Wow. Well done. I'm glad you're keeping it high proof.
Yeah.
You can do a little more with it.
I think it'll appeal then to a very smaller set of people. But honestly, I think those are the folks who will appreciate the port blending in and finishing there
absolutely.
with the American single malt.
Absolutely. And what is it? Isn't New Zealand big into the tawny ports? I forgot where.
New Zealand, Australia.
Is Spain into the tawny ports?
So Madeira is the original kind of port of call for port. So Madeira port is the start of what we now know as port. So fortified wines where they had sugar added so that they would survive the ship's voyage.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so
okay.
It became a more syrupy, more hardy compound.
Dessert wine.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the IPA. The IPA originated from those long sailing voyages as well. By the time the ale got to India, it had lost all its flavor because it had taken 6 months to get there. So IPAs came about from double hop-in or triple hop-in English beer. So when it got to India, it was still hopped and still flavorful. So you go over to wine, and they realized, we're having trouble transporting wine, keeping it drinkable. So you add sugar to fortify it, and you get Madeira ports.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm glad you understand all the science behind it too, because that really makes it mean something.
Probably less science, just a little bit more history. And growing up in South Africa, South Africa is the old, ship restocking spot of the journeys from England to India, and then England to Australia and New Zealand. So just growing up in school kid history, you would learn a lot of those old stories, and they stuck with us. So we drank a lot of port growing up, and there's a lot of really good South African port as well. So this is going to be called Portside. Mersey Portside, American
awesome.
single malt whiskey.
That is awesome.
And it's an homage to my uncle. He was in the Navy. He was a chief petty officer in the South African Navy. Lived and was exceptionally passionate about the Navy. Worked on electronics in the Navy. Drank a lot of rum, but drank a lot of port. And when I lived in Cape Town, he was my dad away from home for a decade. He passed away a few years ago, so
I'm sorry.
Sadly miss him. But a lot of what is in Portside is remembering him and thinking, if I mix a single malt with some port, I'm bringing back the spirit here of my uncle. And
absolutely.
Thinking of late night fires with him, drinking a few shots, having some fun, talking nonsense, debating the world, and just kind of growing up with him. When you're 18 and you're a young adult, you're starting to get a lot more aware of what's around you. And he was the guy I chatted to about a lot of that stuff. So it was really good times, and I wanted to channel his inner spirit here a little bit with Portside. So very Navy style. Cool. You get Navy rum. This is my attempt to make a Navy American single malt and bring through the port aspect of all that.
Well done.
Yeah.
God, you talked about having some things up your sleeve last time I was here, but this is really a magic trick. I mean, you pulled out a couple rabbits.
Good deal.
This is amazing.
Awesome, man. I can't wait to get them on the shelf. I can't wait to get them in front of people and just keep the experience going. It's been fun.
Now, what is it? Is anybody? Are the consumers going to be shocked by major bottle shape differences, or what are we looking at? We're going to have something. So, what do we have to look forward to when they?
Going to keep the nautical bottle.
Okay, all three of the brands will have.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So Portside is going to be in the square bottle.
Okay.
The first iteration of Mooring is going to be in the pirate bottle.
Ah.
Because the nautical bottle we can't get right now, but we want to get this on the market. So it's going to come out in the pirate bottle, keeping a little bit nautical with the pirate bottle.
Oops. They just pop the cork off and go straight into it.
And in January, we'll be landing a couple of thousand more nautical bottles, and we'll be back into the square bottle by then. But yeah, port side, I definitely want in the nautical bottle. And when we get through this first batch of mooring, which I think will be pretty quick, we'll be back into the nautical bottle then as well. The label, the ship's ticket style of label, the seal, everything's going to remain nice and consistent. We'll just call out which whiskey it is on a portion of the label.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to tell the difference.
Oh yeah. Okay. Different color schemes. Okay. You'll know which one you're getting for sure.
Because I wonder what they're going to do at the stores. Are they going to, if you're going to have them side by side, or you're going to have the single malt over here, and then you'll have the rye over here, and then you'll have the new mooring over here. They probably won't be side by side.
Right. I don't think it's right for them to be side by side.
No.
I think you put port side with the single malts, and if they do separate American single malts, you put it over there.
Yeah.
The rye is a higher price point than the mooring whiskey is going to be.
Is it?
So I think the mooring whiskey goes to a different section of the shelf.
So number 6 is going to be our highest price point?
Port side.
Port side will be a higher price point?
Port side's going to be our highest port side.
Okay.
Yeah, and then in February, the original batch that makes up number 6 is going to be 6 years old. And so I'm going to do a special bottling of that straight out of the barrel strength, no water, recipe number 6. Going to call it Captain's Cut.
Oh, I got to get one of those. Oh, my God.
I've tasted it. It's exceptional.
Oh, my God.
The flavors are incredibly rich. With this double rye at barrel strength, it's quite phenomenal. So I'm just waiting for the youngest set of whiskeys to be 5 years old, and it's going to be a blend of 5-year-old and 6-year-old grain to glass whiskey at barrel strength. Probably only run 3 barrels. We'll dump 3 barrels in March. So super small batch, limited edition. That'll probably be the highest price point, that one.
Oh, obviously.
It's going to be the bomb.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're going to go, your CRLI is 0, you'll go 1 through whatever we get?
Right.
Okay.
That's right.
And all the other ones will be 0 or 1 through again? Okay.
That's right.
Good.
And so, Captain's Cut, I think every year, as that original batch ages, we will release, here's the 6-year anniversary, here's the 7-year anniversary. And we can do that a few times, which will be great. So we'll have some exceptional double ryes coming out.
I'm looking forward to that. That's when that 5-year, they just kick in and just the flavors and...
Yeah.
What did you pour over there? Did you have, is number 6 over there?
This is number 6.
Is that number 6? Okay.
Yeah. This will just remind you.
Last number 6.
Remind you about number 6, the original.
It's so good. Because that has a little apricot. I think, I don't know why I'm on an apricot kick today, but
it's got dried fruits of some type that come through, and it's because the corn plays so well against the original rye. So I think that's why most people tasting it are going to pull out that fruit, but that dried fruit flavor of some type coming through. Apricots, pears. So there's something of the high sugar content there, which it's kind of unusual for a rye to have that following on the first spicy taste.
Yeah, I really feel like it's even. I feel like it's in 2 levels. I know you say it's double rye on the label and the dynamics, but I mean I actually taste the different mash bills. It's like they got each their own reward.
Yeah,
that's so well done. I gotta hit ABC before I leave because I've only been able to make the Birmingham Slammers with mine.
Oh yes,
but I haven't made an old fashioned with any Mersey yet.
So I've got a new cocktail out there on the website. It's called the Gimba, Gimba, and it's a fusion of an old fashioned and a Manhattan, but with a little bit of smokiness to it. So it's a perfect time of year to have that. So a bit of Mersey, and then instead of simple syrup, get hold of some smoked maple syrup.
Okay.
Instead of bitters, we use chocolate bitters.
Okay.
And then your choice on vermouth. You could use dry vermouth if you're a dry vermouth flavor, or if you could use sweet vermouth to make it even sweeter.
Yeah.
And you just fuse the old-fashioned and the Manhattan together, and you have just an incredible Thanksgiving or an incredible Christmas Eve cocktail that is ready to go. It's very like homely. It's smoky. The rye plays really well. I think rye and vermouth have a good dance together.
Yeah, I've never tried that.
It's really good. The recipe's out on the Mersey website.
Okay,
check it out. Yeah.
Because your slammer recipe is to die for.
So trail runner, right? So Laurie Lyons, a Birmingham trail runner, came to me and said, "Hey, I just want to pitch you an idea. You tell me what you think." She said, "We're going to take the Alabama Slammer, but we're going to totally up the game. We're going to take out Slow Gin, put in Tanqueray.
Yeah.
We're going to take out Southern Comfort. And we're going to put in Mersey.
Yeah.
Tell me what you think." And it is the bomb.
It is.
It's like better than a mimosa.
Yeah.
Drink it at breakfast. Have it with lunch. Have it on the trail.
Yeah, we're following it to the T. It's
have
delicious.
It with buddies. I think the Tanqueray Sevilla in there makes a big difference.
Yeah,
as well.
the
Just
orange.
a high quality gin coming through, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, if you follow that recipe to the T, it is delicious. I do a little more Mersey.
Okay.
Yeah, I add a little more Mersey.
Good man. Good man.
And fresh squeezed orange juice.
Yeah. So that's what we were serving that in Colorado.
I
at
saw
the
there was
Trans
somewhere.
Rockies.
Yeah, I saw you were pouring pictures. There was something
Yep.
of the slammer.
We had pitchers ready for when runners came in, and we would start. Everybody would be lying in the recovery tents, getting a massage, or getting the like leg recovery, leg sleeves going. And we just take a tray of cocktails around.
Oh.
And by the last 2 days, I would have the messieurs calling me saying, "Hey, can we get more Mersey in the tent?
Yeah.
Can you bring some over?" So it was great. When the slammers were so sweet. Again, when you've had a rough day and you come back and you just have a little bit of sugar content, but some strong components to the sugar content is good. They work really well. So we were pouring 1, 2, 3 pitchers of Birmingham Slammers a day, and they were going down really well.
Yeah.
And the best part is it's an ultra trail runner who devised the recipe. So it was a perfect fitting to have that at the Trans Rockies.
I approve. Well done.
Good deal. Well, they'll be there at the 24 edition, which will be great. And it's the race director's 50th birthday in March, and they put on a race in Moab called Moab Run the Rocks. So we'll be flying in some Mersey and some cocktails to celebrate his birthday with them out there.
What's the distance on that one?
It's 3 days. I think it's 20 miles a day, so it's somewhere around 60
or
miles.
70 or something?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There's some, I know it's getting hot. They're starting to do 200 plus milers now. That's the thing.
Yeah, so Alabama's about to get its first 200-mile race here in a minute on the Pinodi Trail. I think 100 miles is pretty exceptional. I think 200 miles is out of this world. That's quite something.
Man, I appreciate it.
Cheers.
Outstanding work, man.
Good deal. I'm so glad for the reception. I'm glad it's going down well. It's great. Good stuff. I can't wait to have it on the shelf and share it with everybody and share it again with you and tell you how it's doing.
Yeah, your passion is shining through, man. It's your creativity. You're like a non-stop artist right now. It's just a hit after a hit after a hit.
Oh, thank you. So good to hear. So for a finance person, when you do something creative and it's really well received, it's a double jolt of happy that comes through.
Yeah, I can actually. I mean, I haven't been gone for very long, but these events and you getting out there and seeing these people and getting involved with the brand and seeing the love. I mean, I see even a next level spark in you now.
The feedback cycle is so much fun.
It's working. I mean, it's
really cool.
Motivating, obviously.
The first time I sold Mersey, I was honestly really, really nervous. I was like, what are people going to think? This is a busy, sophisticated category where people have opinions.
Oh, Rye, yeah. Rye's a toughie.
A lot of opinions, yeah.
Yeah, Rye's a toughie.
So coming into whiskey was a little nerve-wracking, but this year has been full of just great reception, constructive feedback, a lot of constructive feedback, a lot of passion for where it's going. I think the transparency and authenticity of it all has been well received too. So we'll just keep on trucking, keep on taking it this way, which is cool.
Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
I know you've got a lot of stuff going on. We're gonna fit that on the wall. I hope that fits. We ended up putting a screen up in the studio.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that fits on the left side or the right side. I think it does. I'll put it on the wall.
Oh, well, thank you. You've been an early evangelist for Mersey, and I'm so glad that we've been able to connect and keep chatting and I'll be so proud if I can see it up on the Bourbon Departed podcast. It will be quite something. That will be
Absolutely.
really cool. So
yeah, we're proud of you, man. We're
excellent.
glad you accepted us.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Right back at you. This has been good stuff. Cool.
Thanks, man.
Cheers.
Appreciate you.
Take
If I don't
care.
see you again, happy holidays, okay?
Yes, to you too.
Thank you very
Happy
much.
holidays. All the best.